Putin's recent public appearances raised even more questions, from unusual behavior to medical details long hidden by the Kremlin. Investigations reveal multiple duplicate offices across Russia built to disguise his real location, and journalists have already spotted clear inconsistencies in the footage. At the same time, reports point to serious health issues, including cancer and neurological conditions mentioned both by Western media and Ukrainian intelligence. And while the dictator avoids his offices after drone threats, new materials suggest the Kremlin is quietly preparing a long-term plan for his rule, possibly with a chosen successor. All the key findings ahead. Hello, this is Ukraine Today. Maria Farafanova here with the latest updates. A new video featuring Putin has sparked fresh discussions. Online users noticed several unusual details in his behavior, prompting new speculation. The clip was originally shaped by the Russian movement Healthy Fatherland and focused on the proposal to ban vapes in Russia.
Подростки, просьба большая дать ваше распоряжение, рассмотреть введение полного запрета вейпов на территории Федерации. Хотелось бы, конечно, чтобы мы все жили в здоровье и физически, и ментально.
Дмитрий Николаевич,
Мы готовы.
кивает, значит, правительство поддержит.
Мы сами по точкам ходим, фиксируем нарушения. На данный момент больше 5000 нарушений. И вот нам нужна очень ваша поддержка.
Важно не только решение, но и поведение.
Да. Спасибо большое, что нас слушаете и поддерживаете. Спасибо огромное.
Later, the Telegram channel Next Alive shared the video separately and highlighted the Kremlin leader's hand, showing it in a close-up.
Putin walkers are outdated. Now the trend is bazooka arms. Online users are confused about what happened to the Russian dictator's hands. They look extremely unhealthy. Amusingly, people even wished Putin good health in the video. And perhaps he is an alien humanoid?
This is far from the first time the media has drawn attention to Putin's health condition. The British outlet The Sun also noticed something was wrong. They even wrote that the Russian dictator shows signs of Parkinson's disease. He appears sickly and exhausted. The article also pointed out the Kremlin leader's unnatural body postures. The health condition of 73-year-old Putin has repeatedly become a topic of discussion in the media. There has even been information suggesting that the dictator has cancer. In April 2022, the Russian outlet Proact released an investigation into Putin's health. It found that the Russian president's medical team includes an oncologist. According to their findings, the overall composition of his doctors is also quite characteristic.
Otolaryngologist Alexei Sheglov and Igor Yesakov, as well as surgeon Yevgeny Selivanov, are Putin's most frequent companions. For example, Sheglov flew to Putin in Sochi 59 times over 4 years and spent 282 days by his side. Selivanov 35 times in 166 days.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
This team of doctors is with Putin when he stays at his residence in Sochi and during periods when he does not appear in public for long stretches. Proact writes that Selivanov specialized in diagnosing and surgically treating thyroid cancer in elderly and senior patients. In addition, Kirill Budanov, the head of Ukraine's military intelligence, has also spoken about Putin's serious illness. In December 2022, British media reported that Putin had been diagnosed with several severe conditions: cancer, schizoaffective disorder, and Parkinson's disease. Budanov also confirmed this information.
Back in 2021, there was a statement, I believe it was mine, saying that Putin was seriously ill with cancer. And now everyone is starting to say that something is wrong with him. Time will tell who was right.
Meanwhile, new details from Russia have sparked discussions. An investigation by Sistema revealed noteworthy information. The Kremlin had reportedly been hiding for years the fact that Putin may have left Moscow. Journalists found that Putin uses duplicate offices in different parts of Russia for protocol recordings and meetings with officials. They are located in his residences in Novoogorovo, Sochi, and Valdai. To conceal where Putin is actually located, at least 3 identical offices were built for him. And the main clues gave the dictator away: the door handle in the office, a decorative line on the wall, and a document folder. It is noted that the investigation examined numerous publications on the Kremlin's website over the past 10 years, as well as dozens of hours of the program Moscow Kremlin Putin. Photos and videos were also compared with government procurement documents, built-in plans, and business trips of reporters from pro-government media. As it turned out, Putin's original office was set up in his residence in the Moscow region in 2015. Its area is about 120 square meters, and the interior is designed in light beige tones with simple wooden furniture. There are no paintings, rugs, or any other distracting objects. Just a year later, the construction of secret replicas of this room began. While reviewing the videos, the authors of the investigation noticed several noticeable differences. The interior of the Sochi office differs from the one in the Moscow region by the position of the door handle, the seam on the wall, the shape of the ventilation, and the different legs of the TV stand.
On one day, Putin may be filmed in an office with one renovation, then in the same office but with a different renovation, and finally back in the original one.
Here is one example. Pavel Zarubin, the Kremlin's main chronicler and author of the program Moscow Kremlin Putin, accidentally revealed the president's secret. In his exclusive report from Putin's office released after the December 2020 press conference, he showed very interesting footage. In the video, Zarubin pulls the door handle and the caption Nova Ogorova appears on the screen. Immediately after that comes an almost identical shot in which Putin himself opens the same door. The location indicated in both segments is the same. But if you look closely, you can notice that Putin and Zarubin are opening two different, although outwardly very similar doors. On one, the handle is positioned slightly higher, and on the other, slightly lower. As it turned out, Zarubin recorded his part in advance, a week before the event, and not in the Moscow region at all, but in another one of Putin's offices. The third office of the Russian dictator, located at the residence in Valdai, looks almost identical to the first two. However, journalists noticed that its interior also differs in the position of the wall seam, the placement of the wall thermostat, and the color of the tabletop. The journalists concluded that Putin held around 130 events in this office, usually video conference meetings. The investigation also says that since February 2023, the Russian dictator stopped using the Sochi office because of the threat of Ukrainian drone attacks, and from early 2025, he stopped using the office in Nova Ogorova as well. A new report from British journalists suggests that Putin may be preparing to remain in power until 2050. According to their findings, the 73-year-old president is considering a plan that would allow him to rule virtually for life. There is also speculation that the Kremlin may already have a potential successor in mind. More details ahead.
Russian dictator Putin has already been in power longer than many of his predecessors, and a new publication only adds fuel to the fire of rumors, according to a British tabloid. He allegedly wants to stay in power until the age of 97. And
do you really think people will be able to live to 150 years and beyond? Yes?
Yes. I think when we were heading to the parade, the chairman talked about this. Well, yes, it means that Mr. Berlusconi didn't really pursue this topic actively at the time.
his power is so concentrated that the question of when he will leave now sounds less like an expectation and more like rhetoric. The constitution was rewritten, the term limits were reset, and he can remain president until 2036.
Modern means of health improvement, medical treatments, even various surgical procedures related to organ replacement allow humanity to hope that an active life will continue differently than it does today.
But the plans, it seems, are even broader. Putin's inner circle is reportedly overseeing projects related to life extension, in which his eldest daughter, Maria Vorontsova, an endocrinologist, is also involved in scientific initiatives.
We know that Putin's eldest daughter, endocrinologist Maria Vorontsova, works in this same field. In a field where, to the delight of the ruling elders, technologies from a distant future are mixed in. Genome editing so that cell division doesn't degrade over time, 3D printing of entire organs, and various other worldly clownery like meetings with shamans.
Perhaps it's no coincidence that we recently noticed a video where Putin and Xi Jinping discuss how human life will be significantly longer, as if preparing for a new era in which both the state and its leader will remain in power much longer.
In the past, people rarely lived to 70. Now at 70, you're still a child. And how does Putin respond to that? With the help of biotechnology, organs could be replaced endlessly, and people might even achieve immortality. And how does Xi Jinping respond to that again? Some predict that in this century, people will be able to live up to 150 years.
Obviously, there will be no retirement. He clings to power, ruling not only today, but also the decades to come. And everything around him suggests that he has no intention of leaving the political stage anytime soon.
We have long known that the president of the Kurchatov Institute, Mikhail Kovalchuk, is not only obsessed with the Russian genome and talks about genetic weapons aimed exclusively at Slavs, but also leads large-scale research in the field of aging and its prevention.
A leader who has set a record for time in power, a school of management without a successor, and scientific technological projects in which his family is integrated. All of this adds up to a troubling image, the image of a person who is not just counting on another term, but on a long-term life in the seat of power.
It's not at all surprising that when two elderly dictators meet, they discuss how to cheat death. Just as there is no doubt that this question occupies their thoughts more and more with each passing year. How can they stop this perfect moment and make sure the future never comes? because in that future they do not exist, which is absolutely unacceptable.
If the sources are to be believed, the price for this has been and remains extremely high. Not just for him, but for the entire system in which he has become the center.
That's all for now. Stay with us to be the first to know what's happening right now. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. See you soon.